Hello, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. So, finally, that episode that we have all been waiting for has finally aired. The love triangle from hell. Mashelembe versus Masithole, the pillar, and that idiotic Langa in the middle. This episode was everything I had expected and a whole lot more. They dished drama, 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 and more drama. So before I get to the love triangle, I just want to mention Mamhlongo. So Mamhlongo was there as well, right next to Mashelembe. Linda Sibia did ask her how things were going in her polygamous situation. And shame, this lady, she breaks my heart as well. She seems like such a soft and gentle soul, so down to earth. And I kind of feel like her husband is just taking advantage of her quietness, you know. If I remember correctly in their episode, it's that man with a funny mohawk. Somebody should shave him in his sleep. So anyways, in their episode, Linda Spear mentioned that for her husband to be able to take a second wife, they kind of have to divorce because they were married in a particular way that doesn't allow for polygamy. And this lady, Mamhlongo, actually agreed. So from her episode, she agreed to this polygamous situation. And now on the tell all sessions, you can just tell that she's not happy about it. She's saying that she can only be fine if the second lady doesn't live with them. But I don't think that the second lady is part of the show. Otherwise, she would have been on the couch right across from her. So back to the love triangle from hell. Linda Sibia asks Mashelembe how she's doing, and Mashelembe is like, I'm doing okay. If you're not paying attention to the situation, like if you're not looking at the situation closely, you know, she's alluding to the fact that she's in a lot of pain. Deep down inside, she's hurting like hell, but she's still in a situation like everything is fine. And Linda Sibia therefore asked her if she's still in this marriage. And Mashelembe is like, she's holding on, but it is tough. Mashelembe mentioned that what's hurting her the most is the fact that what they had discussed and agreed upon in their episode of Mnakwethu at Dundee was not carried through by Mr. Langa, the husband. The discussion was that Mr. Langa will finish Mashelembe's lobola processes and make sure that Mashelembe and him are properly married before he proceeds to do anything with Masithole, the pillar. So anyways, Linda Spear then asks Mr. Langa, what happened? Why haven't you, done what you promised to do? And Mr. Langa gave this long-winded explanation of the fact that he, the man, is the one who saw Mashelembe. He wooed Mashelembe. He courted Mashelembe. It was all his decision. It was his decision to initiate a relationship. The whole lobola thing was his decision. And now she can then turn around and tell him how to further proceed in their relationship. So that's his excuse. That is why he has not done what he had promised to do in their episode. And of course, Mashelembe is disappointed and hurt by this. Linda Spear also asked Mr. Langa why he decided to lobola the second lady in secret without telling Mashelembe, And Mr. Langa was like, he knew that Mashelembe was not going to agree. He knew that Mashelembe was not going to like it. So he decided to just light the fire. Those type of situations of I'll cross the bridge when I get them. To me, in my opinion, this just shows that Mr. Langa doesn't care for Mashelembe because he knew how she was going to feel about this whole situation, and he still continued and did it anyways. And now she's sitting here showing her expression, showing her frustration, showing her pain, and he has the blankest expression in his face. It's like he feels nothing. So Masithole was asked about the Ntsiga comment, that why did she call herself Ntsiga, in other people's relationship. And you know what? She wasn't backing down. She reiterated that she is the pillar in their love, and there's nothing that Mashelembe and Langa will do without her say so, without her approval. She also mentioned that they really, really annoyed her and irritated her during that episode when they, as in Mashelembe and Langa, took the decision of when she, Masithole, can go to the Langa household, because they are not her in-laws. All of that should have been decided by Langa's parents, her in-laws, okay, and not Mashelembe and Langa. She felt that they had no right to do that, and they had no authority to do that, and so she was just really, really annoyed and irritated by their action. The audacity of this woman, like, you want to be wife number two. Why are you acting like there is no wife number one? Why are you trying to disregard her role in this whole polygamous situation? Why are you talking about his parents? Why are you trying to minimize Mashelembe's role? That's the issue with this woman. She doesn't see Mashelembe for anything. She doesn't respect Mashelembe at all. But you know what? With this comment, oh, she lit the fuse. She lit the fuse, and Mashelembe exploded. All the gloves were off, and Mashelembe was no longer playing fair. And granted, her feelings are warranted. This woman is an interloper, came into her relationship and caused havoc. After that, a whole discussion on the role of a pillar ensued, where the other ladies were like, well, clearly Masithole doesn't know what a pillar is. She doesn't know what a pillar is supposed to do, because her actions are divisive in the household, whereas a pillar is for support, to unite, to keep everything structured. And clearly Masithole is not that. And Linda Spear even said that she's coming in between these two people. How can she call herself a pillar? How is she a pillar? And you know what? She don't give two fucks about these two and their relationship. She wants to be married to this man. Whoever gets hurt gets hurt. She don't care. Mashelembe hits Masithole with that scathing question, everybody's favorite question of, how come were you not a pillar in your previous relationship where you have children? Why are you a pillar suddenly in this relation? Everybody loved that question, me included. Whatever Masithole said after that, there's no coming back from that question, honey. It's shady. It's epic, and you can tell that Masithole is ready for war after that question. But Linda Spear, being the MC, did such a good job to just calm the whole situation down, because you can tell all the gloves, not only are they off, they've been thrown by the wayside. It was on. But you know what? Linda Spear handled the whole thing very, very well. He then moved the show to something else, something none of us were privy to, something that didn't happen in the previous situation, something apparently that happened at the hotel that they were all booked to stay in, where only 2 rooms were booked for them, where Masithole was going to sleep in her own room and Mashelembe and Mr. Langa were going to sleep in their own room. So it came to their attention that Masithole changed everything. Okay, she made somebody book an extra room for Langa, so that Langa doesn't spend the night with his wife, Mashelembe. I mean, how controlling can you be? Who is this woman? Who does she think she is, And Langa, God. And Masithole doesn't deny anything. She said it, that she put her foot down, that she wasn't going to allow these two to spend the night together. Apparently, it was her turn to spend the night with Mr. Langa. And Mashelembe is like, how come we have turns? How can we have turns when you actually still stay with your parents? How can we have turns? Masithole is just too presumptuous. She is way too presumptuous for her own good. So Langa was then asked, the questions of what happened, how could this happen? that, you know what, the room situation changed. And before he answered, Mashelembe brought up another issue of some money that was in the car but went missing. Actually, where Mr. Langa said is missing, and how Mashelembe was supposed to get new clothes, but she didn't. And Mashelembe suspects that Masithole and Mr. Langa used the money for something, but they lied to her, just as Mr. Langa lied to her about the room situation. Apparently, Mr. Langa told Mashelembe that it's the production people that decided that no, they must not stay in the same room. Mashelembe was so hurt by this whole thing, and rightfully so, and she called his actions snake-like, that he must just be honest. And being the man that he is, instead of addressing her issues, all the issues that she was bringing up, he decided to deflect, and be like, no, you can't be asking me all these things. Rather ask me one thing at a time so that I know what to respond to. You can't be asking me about all this, ask me about that and stuff like that. Like, no, man, answer the questions. Answer all the questions, okay? You can't now suddenly play MC and decide how you are going to be asked questions and how you want to respond. So Mashelembe felt the need to step in and discipline Mr. Langa a little bit, that Mr. Langa's situation is out of control and things are not occurring accordingly, because now Mr. Langa is favoring Masithole more. Mr. Langa is listening to Masithole where such should not be happening. And this relationship, Masithole is the one who makes the decisions. It's what she wants that keeps happening. And Mashelembe was just telling him that, no, it shouldn't be like that. And Mashelembe was not the only person who felt this way. Everybody, the wives, even the side chicks, even the prospective second wives, were against Masithole. Because this woman is so out there, nobody can even support her. And the funny thing is, she doesn't see anything wrong. You can tell in the way that she speaks that she feels, she really is right. She's the only one right, and everybody must do what she wants, must do what she says. She feels so entitled to this man. So Mashelembe was obviously very heartbroken, and she mentioned it once again that she's had enough. She's like, you know what, I've had enough of this whole situation, because these two don't respect her. They think very little of her, and you know what, she's really hurting. And I really, really, really hope that with all the support that she has been getting from the woman of South Africa, let me just say from South Africa as a whole, that that support gives her strength to just make a good decision for her future, because this, from the outside looking in, it just doesn't seem worth it. She also she didn't even hint. She also mentioned something that all of us has been suspecting. Like, why is Masithole so confident that Langa or Mr. Langa will listen to her? And here Mashelembe said it. It's the African chemistry, darling. We all think it, and so does Mashelembe. Of course, we can't prove stuff like that unless you catch a person red-handed in the act of something nefarious. But we all think it. African chemistry. Somebody's been to someone who flies with a broom and knows a couple of herbs. So everybody is against Mr. Langa and Masithole, to the extent that some men spoke against his actions and his handling of this whole situation. One of the side chicks also spoke, asking him to humble himself and apologize to Mashelembe. And of course, he was sitting there like he's not even there. Something is not connecting with that man. I don't know, mentally and emotionally, it's just not clicking together. He seems way too aloof for such a delicate situation. So anyways, that is all that I have in today's video. Please make sure that you like my video and show me some support by subscribing. Thank you so much.